What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Uncaged podcast. If you don't know, this channel is all about the journey to the top 1%. And how do we get there? It's by becoming 1% better daily. And it's really cool. Today is going to be like a lifetime update. Y'all know I don't like time stamping these videos because I believe that they are true in for all time, or at least a majority of them, or at least they build on top of each other, right? So I don't ever want to constrain them and think like, oh, well, I'm listening to this 6 months later, or a year later, it must not still be relevant. However, I want to also pull back, the veil and show you guys in real time and in live time and be vulnerable and transparent and honest with you guys on like things that myself personally worked through, Uncaged professionally works through, and things of that nature. And in today, lifetime, we have been talking literally all day in the VIP program group chat on how to make the VIP program better. And it's top of mind awareness for me because we have a very audacious end of year goal, which is what's really kind of time stamping this. And we set the goal. The last 2 months of the year was to add 100 new members to the VIP program. And the reason that's significant is because it's a monumental growth level. But not only that, the reason when you're talking about that here today is because as audacious as that sounds, I keep struggling myself with like actually truly comprehending what kind of a feat that really is. And to put it in perspective, again, since we have time stamped this, in year one, we started with 25 members and we ended the year. So we like announced it, said, hey, this is what we're doing. This is the value that you get for this $97 a month, yada, yada, yada. And we had 25 guys raise their hand like, we want it. So we kind of beta launched it, or at least started talking about the value and announcing it in December the year prior. And we did a hard launch date, January 1st. And then we ran it all the way through the year. And so we went from 25 guys saying like, hey, like that's for sure something I want to be a part of, to the end of that first year having 125 members. So we added 100 members into the VIP program in year one. And now in year two, we are looking to do that same amount of growth, but in the last 60 days of the year. So it's a huge goal. But with that said, and part of the main topic I want to talk about on today's episode is some things in life seem hard. Some things in life seem honestly like unachievable. And I have caught myself in that mindset several times since making the announcement of this. I mean, we're a week in, right, to this 60-day sprint of 100 members. It's huge. It's huge. But we've only had one person sign up in this first week. And so it can be very defeating when you say, like, we got 8 weeks to accomplish something, and now we only have 7. And we've only grown towards that goal by 1%. The math just doesn't math there, right? But with that said, when I've caught myself in these moments where I'm feeling down or kind of questioning the goals, questioning why we're doing what we're doing, I've caught myself understanding that, like, let's admit that it's going to be difficult, bro. Like, let's admit that it's going to be hard. Let's admit that it's not going to be easy. Let's admit that things are going to end up happening throughout this journey and throughout this process that's going to throw a curveball, that's going to cause me to pivot, that's going to cause me to have to rethink things or find better ways of accomplishing it, right? And so throughout this process, I'm only getting better. But now I have framed this in just understanding the enemy, understanding the opponent, studying not necessarily what could go wrong, but understanding the game that we are playing and how to play it. And so now, once we've swallowed that pill of understanding, like, no, it might not be easy, bro, but it has to happen, I start to unpack what's going to happen over these next 7 weeks. And I look at it in a different perspective because I know, and I'll give you some full transparency here. We have from January 1st of 2025 to December 31st of 2030. And now that I've actually said these dates, like it's going to be so fulfilling to come back and watch this episode. But we have the next 5 years goals and forecasts created. Like it is in a huge, Google Sheet document. It's broken down. Like there's so much information there. Like some of the pack leaders, some of the VIP guys have seen this, have gone through it. I think I even, showcase it in the free 30-day challenge, right? Like I'm open about this number, but we have now put so much focus on that 5-year time block in Uncaged's life that here we are now staring down, the finish line. I call it the finish line to get this proper foundation set to set those 5 years up for success. And so kind of a roundabout way of saying that I know that if I want Uncaged to do what Uncaged needs to do and deserves to do, I personally have to go out of my way and put in the work over these next 7 weeks to ensure that it happens, because my goals are much larger than the workload that it takes to get there. Like it outweighs that. Like, is the next 7 weeks going to be hard? Yes. Is the next 7 weeks going to be difficult? Yes. Am I going to struggle in the next 7 weeks? Yes. Are these next 7 weeks going to be worth it? Yes. So it's I don't know what you're facing right now. I don't know what finish line you're staring at. I don't know what goals or accomplishments or dreams that you're looking at. You have to sit down and realize that no one else is coming to save you, that no one else is going to do the work for you, that if you want to succeed, it is up to you. Now, I'm not saying, obviously, that you can't utilize other people for their skill set, for their network, for their reach, whatever the case is. That's fine, but you have to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to support those people and to produce and keep them motivated and inspired to producing the results that you need in order to accomplish the goals. Because obviously in Uncaged, we're all huge fans of coming together and supporting each other and growing each other to the point where we need to be able to achieve the goals that we need. But I can help you grow. I can help give you whatever information or education or inspiration or motivation or introductions or referrals that you need. I can help with that. But once that is passed off, that's it. The ball's in your court, and you've got to understand whether or not you're going to score or not. And so for me, with Uncaged, like the way I look at it, we only need VIP members to bring in one additional person between now and the next, 7 weeks. Now, is everyone going to do that? Who knows? So we start to look at the top 10% or the top 50% or the top 25 or whatever the case is and say, how can I empower these people more to help us achieve this? Because this is a group goal. We've sat down. That's how we establish those 5-year forecasts, those 5-year goals. So if all the members are saying, or at least the ones that were on the calls and being involved and engaging, can say, like, this is what we want to do. How awesome will it be if we're able to accomplish this? If that's what you want, if this is the reward you want, here's the risk that it's going to take, which is going out of your way, which is carving out time to have these conversations, which is going to spread, the movement and the message, and going out of your way to help someone else without an ulterior motive, right? Like these are the foundational pieces that have to be put in place before we can get to where we need to be. And so for me, like I keep bringing it back, and I don't want this to seem like a pitch video, this, that, whatever, but like for me, it's like I understand the severity of this mission. Because if we don't set up that 5-year forecast for success, 5 years from now, 5 years and 7 weeks from now, we're going to look back and we're going to be spinning our heads like, why didn't we end up where we thought we were going to end up? Because we didn't do the work in the beginning, right? So I don't know. Again, this isn't about anything outside of like, I truly want to bring value here and be very open and honest and vulnerable and transparent on like what I'm dealing with in my own day-to-day life. But like, let's shift that over into your life. What is it that you're facing that like you see the audacious goal, you have that dream, but you're not doing the work right here, right now, because maybe you think it's too hard. Maybe you think it's unachievable. Maybe you think it's not worth the reward's not worth the risk, or whatever the case is. Let's say, for example, you're trying to save for a down payment on a house. Like, you know, you need to be putting money back every month. But the threshold, the pain threshold hasn't been enough for you to truly commit to that. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to not be putting money aside, not saving money, not going out of the way to hit your goals. You haven't reverse engineered how much money you need to collect or save, or how much profits you need to generate month over month over month to hit your ultimate goal, right? So you haven't even done the first part, which is like figuring out what are the targets. You got the goal. What are the targets now that you got to hit month 1, month 2, month 3, all the way to month 12 or 24 or whatever, how long, whatever that timeline is. And so then you start, A, because you're not prepared, B, you start slipping. That money that you spent going out to eat or going out to the bar or whatever should have gone to your savings. But you haven't even broken down your targets, so you don't even know how far off you are. You have not paid attention to how far off track on your journey you really are. Your goal's all the way over here, but you're all the way over here. You're not paying attention to where you need to be. And so therefore you're setting yourself up for failure. And what's going to end up happening, it's going to come all the way down to where it's time to really get serious, and then it's too late. Because now you got to put back $10,000 a month into your savings to be able to afford this down payment, and you can't afford to save 10 grand a month. Versus if you had rewound yourself all the way to the beginning, put these targets in place to make sure that you're hitting it, all you need to do is save $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month or $3,000 or whatever the case is. And you would have been in a situation now where you have accomplished your goal because you put in the work. It wasn't easy. No one just wants to just put $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in their savings, right? And again, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's at the gym. You know, you want to have a six-pack by next summer, right? But now you're waiting on January 1 so you can have a new year, new me resolution. What happens? January 1 comes around, and because you've now ingrained in yourself that I'm putting it off till then, I'll put it off to then, I'll put it off to then. Now you start arguing with yourself mentally and saying, hey, well, like, realistically, I think I could get it done in 60 days. So then you don't put off your prep until end of February or March, whatever the case is. And you keep putting it off and you put it off. And then what's happened is that accomplishment becomes further and further out of reach. It becomes harder and harder to achieve. It's not this overnight success. So you push it off until it's this huge, monstrous goal, and it's super overwhelming. And now you're filled with anxiety and depression every time you look at it. Then that you just stop. You just give up on the dream because you've now given it so much leeway to become this huge demon that you have to fight that you just give up, because it'd be easier just to give up on my goals than actually achieve them, right? And so for me, like, what is this in your life that you are putting off? What is it in your life that you know you have to do these steps in order to truly unlock this dream or this goal or whatever the case is, this reward? But you keep putting it off because it's fucking hard. It doesn't get easier the longer you put it off. The longer you put it off, the more anxious you're going to be about it. The more depressed you're going to be that you're not actually moving towards your goal. You're going to constantly push this off until it becomes too late. And then once it becomes too late, who really hurts there? Yeah, obviously you're going to suffer. But then where does that suffering bleed over to? What other aspects of your life do you start sacrificing because now you have a self-inflicted injury? Is it in your health? Is it in your wealth? Is it in your relationships? Does it keep you from making more money? Does it keep you from saving more money? Does it keep you from saving more time? We start to really, really allow these huge, audacious goals to break us down and belittle us so much that we end up giving up. So what is it that you're doing that with in your life? What is it that you know you have a dream? In order to succeed at this dream, you got to set a goal. You set these goals, and then you set these targets. When it comes down to having these targets in place, which is exactly what we're talking about here, we set the goal for 100, or that's what we need to do to set the foundation for January 1 of 2025. And so if we don't do that, all of those 5-year projections are messed up. We got to go through and redo everything based on the numbers that we have starting on January 1. I don't want to do that because I'm the kind of man that does what he says he's going to do when he says he's going to do it. Do I need your help? Fuck yes, I need your help. But part of me doing this is how can I support you the most? How can I be a resource for you the most? What can I do to help you so that your message goes out there and you become an example and people see a change in your life and say, I want some of what he's got. What is it that we can do in Uncaged to make you a raving fan that says, I want every man that I know that cares about themselves, that cares about their family, that cares about themselves personally, that cares about themselves professionally. I want to give them this gift because I've seen what it's done for me. How do we create raving fans there? So what can I do? This is all me, extreme ownership. Do I need other people's help? Yes, I do. And part of that is admitting that. Part of that setting my ego aside and saying, I can't do it all on my own. I'm not some fucking egotistical maniac, narcissistic fucking monster that thinks that I can do it all. I know I can't. So here I am reaching out, asking for help. So I've now understood that. But then what we're talking about here is this is the target. We now have a target. It is something that's tangible. And because we're so tangible with it, it becomes real. When it's real because we've been specific about it. We haven't just guessed. We haven't just thrown out a number there. We launched it, said, hey, we need 100. We've had one guy sign up in the first 7 days, which means our target now is 99 in 7 weeks. What do we need to be doing? What things does the upper echelon group of people that actually care about this movement getting out there and surrounding ourselves with like-minded men, at what level does that conviction overcome that fear of failure? At what point do we get so real with understanding who we are and what our goals are and believing that we're the motherfucker that is going to do what it requires to hit that? How do we start showing up then? How do we start waking up? How do we start going to bed, right? We start going to bed or waking up with confidence and excitement about what the day brings because it's a new opportunity for us to get that much closer to our goal, to get 1% better, right? So what is it that we're waking up better now? We're going to sleep confident knowing that we did the fucking work that we needed to do that day because we have a very tangible, realistic, and a specific target. We know what we're shooting for. So again, to bring this all back full circle, like there's something in your mind right now that you know you need to be doing better. And dude, again, that could be something financial, it could be personal, it could be professional. It could be, fuck man, like maybe you need a better relationship with your wife. So the target is weekly date nights, right? Maybe it's daily little love notes and messages, whether it's handwritten on a napkin, written on a mirror, whether it's a simple text sent, whatever the case is. Like those are targets now, right? There is an objective, there is a goal, and now we have broken down targets in order to be able to accomplish that. So it could be personally, professionally, it could be relationships, it could be wealth, health, whatever the case is. So what is it that you're dealing with? And what is it that you see as such a ridiculously audacious goal, but you haven't broken down the targets in order to be able to accomplish it, which leads you to stress level number 1. Stress level number 2 is every day you progress or you put this off, that level of anxiety gets that much larger because now the objective gets even larger. If our goal was 100 and we waited a whole week to land 1, I mean, it was just 1, but say 10, that's a 10% larger goal with a week left to achieve it, right? So we got to really start looking at the fact that like that 1% better daily, that journey that Uncaged is on about educating men on how to overcome it. It's that when we realize that if we don't get 1% better today, now that means we have twice the work to do the following day. And if we don't do that the following day, then it's twice the work then, which is ultimately 4 times a harder goal to achieve the day before. We put it off just one more day. It's now 8 times harder than the original goal. This is why this compounding effect can work with you negatively or positively. But it's up to you to be able to figure out, how bad do you really want it? I know I've talked about a lot of this stuff, in culmination on this podcast leading up to this, because it's that fucking real. But I also get to share this with you in real time and saying, like, my back's against the wall here with these goals. What could I have done to, extreme ownership, self-reflection? What could I have done, in the first 10 months of the year to not put us in such a crazy end of year goal? But again, this is all situational. This is all stuff that we have started developing over the course of this year to find out what our 5-year goal is, our 5-year plan, our goals, and our forecasts. So now here we are, and we're working with the information that we have been provided with when we've been provided it. And so here we are. But now, just because here we are and it's a huge goal and it's a hard pill to swallow, doesn't mean that we put it off till the next day. Doesn't mean that we put it off till the next day. For those of you that are live with us in the group, I'm posting daily updates on this, which means there will be 60 daily updates. I've literally been like, man, I don't want to make this post. There's not been a lot of change, or I don't want to make this post because I don't want to piss anyone off because of the regular updates. These are all self-limiting beliefs. These are all things that it's the devil on your shoulder trying to give you an excuse to let off the gas. It's trying to give you a reason to hold you back. I told you, life's going to life, bro. Like, life, when you start to step out and try and put yourself in a position to win, life's going to try and do everything they can to throw you curveballs. But the objective for you is to stop putting it off, because the longer you put it off, the bigger that goal gets. So I don't know what you're dealing with in life right now that you can take literally the problem that I'm having and the way I've kind of found a solution to it and apply it to your life. Like, what is this that you're facing? What is this big, audacious goal that you're like, it almost seems unrealistic? But if I were able to accomplish it, it would be life-changing. Now you just reverse engineer that. Set it as the goal. And then find your targets that you need to be hitting. Track this shit daily, because what gets measured gets managed. And you need to know exactly where you are in this journey from where you are to where you want to be. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be you that gets there, right? Again, no magic savior is coming to take you from point A to point B. It is literally up to you. So now, in order to get there, you've got to know what you're shooting for. If you don't know what you're aiming for, you're going to miss 100% of the shots that you take. So, like, what is it that you're doing? What is it that you need help with? Reach out to the group, because there's a huge, vast variety of different skill sets, different industries, different men, different geographical locations that can reach out and help you, whether it's information and education, whether it's inspiration and motivation, whether it's introductions and referrals. Like, the power is in the group. It's not in me. It's not in whoever your pack leader is. It's not in your mentor. It's not in who invited you into the free group or the VIP group or whatever the case is. It's the power of the collective group. That's what we're building here. The better that we all are individually, the better we will be collectively. And the better we all are collectively, the better we will be individually. So it's the power of a group like this, which is why I'm so heavy in reaching out to the group for help to hit this goal. We need 99 more men. So if you're watching this and you're VIP, who else can you share your experience with? You'll never be able to understand the value of the VIP group until you experience it. But there's someone out there that knows, likes, and trusts you, and that believes in you, and believes that you wouldn't lead them astray, that you could say, this is what this has done for me. It's the best $97 a month I've ever spent. Maybe you're in the free group and you're watching this and you're like, dude, I've been waiting for this. I've been doing this. Now is the time. We need your help. And I promise you, the way this karmic energy and vibe that Uncaged produces, you help us, we will help you. Now, it's not to say we're reserving help for people that pay us. That's not it. There's a reason the free group is there. But guess what? The free group requires resources, requires money, time, energy. It requires a village to produce those assets. The VIP program supports that. So when we come together as a whole, especially the VIP members, big shit happens. And I promise you, the amount of value, there's no reason to say no. Try it for 30 days. It's 100% money back guarantee. There's no commitments. There's no contracts. Like, this is something that you'll never truly believe is as valuable as it is unless you take a look inside. So just help us hit this goal. I promise you, you help us hit this goal, it unlocks so many more resources for the VIP program where we can afford to increase the already just monumental value that it's in there. So again, I didn't want this to be a pitch video, but this is a video. We've been doing this for a long time. We've got a lot of resources. We've gone out of our way a lot to help the community. There's a lot of IOUs that are probably out there that it's time to start collecting on. If you truly believe in Uncaged, we have a massive, massive, massive goal at our feet that will require all of us to lock arms and come together on. But not only that, it sets up the next 5 years for the Uncaged program. I don't know, just imagining how much growth Uncaged has seen this year alone. I cannot wait to see where we are in 5 years. And so you're at a point in your life with whatever you're dealing with, whether you're in the VIP program and it's bringing other people that are around you in your ecosystem, whether that's your employees, whether that's your coworkers, whether that's your bosses, whether that's your friends or family. Imagine in 5 years if you locked arms with the people that you're working with, the people that you spend the most amount of time with, if everyone's chasing getting 1% better and your collective ecosystem is growing and growing and growing in that incremental growth, that monumental growth, month over month, week over week, quarter over quarter, year over year. If you start to look at that and see the impact that can create over the next 5 years, it's literally life-changing stuff. We got 5 years and 7 days or 5 years and 7 weeks that have now officially been completely planned out with goals and forecasts and literally all the value that comes with that. Imagine. And again, if you're not in the free group, or if you're not in the VIP group, if you're in the free group, like imagine what you've done with the free group, what you've learned. How can we not be providing that on steroids inside the VIP program? Like, look at all the guys that are in there. Look at the quality of the men that are in there. We got guys that spend $120,000 a year on other groups similar that literally have said that this brings more value to their lives than those. That's not my words. I can literally show you screenshots. And not only can I show you that screenshot on screenshot, video testimonials, I will put you in contact with anyone that you want to have contact with, whatever it is. But imagine who you are in the next 5 years if you would take this incremental growth year over year. 1% better daily over a full year is 37x. Imagine 5 years times that. Just constant incremental growth for the next 60 months. What the fuck could you be doing with your life? Where would you be at? Where are you in your health 5 years from now? Where are you in your wealth 5 years from now? Where are you in your relationships 5 years from now? That's who I want to talk to. I want you to look at that person 5 years down the road, and I want you to go there in your mind and ask them, hey man, should I sign up for the VIP program? What do you think they'd say? Guys, that's my time here. I don't want to keep preaching to y'all. This is something that I actually care about. If you reach out to me, if you want to hop on my schedule, I'll send you a link. Get you on my calendar. We'll chop it up, have a conversation, whatever it is you need, man. There's no strings attached. It doesn't cost money. You know, convictedly, like, I do want you to join VIP, but we're not going to hard close you. We're not going to pressure sell you. You're not going to catch me in your DMs, cold DMing you. I'm not going to beg you to join. I'm not going to beg you to stay. If you want us, we want you. We are a group of like-minded men that focus on their health, wealth, and relationships. We learn how to make more money, save more money, and save more time. If that's something that you want to be a part of, let me know. Let any of the other VIP members know. Let a pack leader know. Make a post in the free group. I don't give a shit. Whatever you got to do, if you want it bad enough, you will find a way to get in the group. Very, very easy to do. Uncagedcrew.com. If you got any questions, hit me up. I'm here for you, and we'll see you inside.